Well, here we are, Dan. Christmas done and out the way and on the verge of a new year.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a year, hasn't it? I wonder what wonderful things we'll get in the world of gaming next year.
Honestly, feels like we can get some proper breathtaking new experiences in gaming.
Hundreds of soul-likes.
And roguelikes.
Lots of stories on AI in gaming.
Fair amount of stories about RAM costing more than gold.
Lots of articles on Microsoft and their shenanigans.
Infinitely more articles on Steam and their new devices.
Finding some hidden gems in the indie scene.
Even more awesome gaming views.
Half-Life 3 releasing.
Dan and Dan with a gaming flair. Pixel dreams and worlds to share. Joystick tales and button cues. Welcome to Gaming Views.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Gaming Views. Yes, this is our final episode of 2025. Yes, Dan, it's gone, hasn't it? It's gone.
Shit,
Not the final episode.
Oh.
No, the final episode of 2025. We're coming back.
What's going to do in my life?
Yeah. So hopefully you've all had a good Christmas and holidays and you're gearing up for a new year. We're going to kind of do a slightly different episode today, but we'll come on to that as we get on into the episode. But Dan, as always, what have you been playing?
I've been playing You Forgot to Do Housekeeping, which is a really good game.
You think all these episodes we've done, I mean, I've actually got some things on that later, all the episodes we've done. Yeah, Dan, why don't you remind me about housekeeping?
We would like anyone who really enjoys our episodes to please like and subscribe. I always say it doesn't mean a lot to you guys, but it means the world to us. And the interactions are just getting better and better. We get lots of comments and quotes and things. And I think actually going into next year, I'd like people to start asking us some questions as well, because we've run out of ideas. No, not really. But I think it would be nice to have a bit of audience participation. So if people want to chip in with a question, I'm looking at you, Pete.
Yeah.
Or anyone else. Joey. Anyone, really.
Yeah. Anything you want to see, any topics you want to discuss, or games or systems?
Or just questions. We're going to have a Q&A. We were like video game agony uncles thing.
Just a lot of agony, I think.
Not about Dark Souls. Don't do that, please. Joey. Right.
Is that your resolution that you're going to play Dark Souls?
No. Nope.
All right, so I know what the first set of comments we're going to get are. So, yeah, subscribe to everything. And actually, did you see today, a little diversion, that apparently someone has scraped all the songs and stuff off Spotify and has made them available. So if you've heard us through that, make sure you're subscribing to us. Although you wouldn't have heard this episode because this happened after the scrape. But I did see it. You'll have come back to listen to more. So make sure you're subscribing.
I don't think it was a podcast, though, was it? Maybe it was.
You never
just
know.
Get the good stuff.
You know, let's. Well, I was going to say, let's hope no, because something's naughty. But if they did, you never know if there's any extra. Maybe we haven't got lawyers sorted out yet, so maybe let's move on. What's your been playing? What's your been playing?
Why say with one word when many will do? What's I've been playing? So what's I've been playing is I think. Last time I said I started Titanfall 2, so I finished that off. I loved it. It's such a good single player campaign. It's only 5 or 6 hours. Please go and play it because it's amazing. And then write a letter to whoever the developers are. I can't remember. Respawn. Thank you, Dan, for remembering things. And tell them to make Titanfall 3 because I'm sad that it's not coming out. And then I wanted a bit more nostalgia. So in the Xbox sale, there was Bulletstorm. Full clip edition or whatever it's called. So I downloaded that and I've been having a bunch of fun with that. It's a very silly Gears of War style, heavy character, shooty, but in first person, lots of swearing and adult references and shooting people in the balls for no reason. Weirdly, it's just to score points to earn more guns or power-ups.
I talked to you yesterday about this, and I remember at the time in reviews it got slated because of that sort of humour and element, but it detracts from the fact that there is a fun mechanic in the scoring and not just going along shooting. You've got to mix your moves up, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, so you know if you just go around shooting people dead, centre, chest, 10 points each, but if you do cool things and shoot them and explode them in different ways, you get bonus points, and then that all racks up, and that's essentially your score system to mean that you can then, that's the points that you buy more shit with, basically. He says, not being able to spit words out. Then I also been playing, on your recommendation actually, Final Fantasy VII Remake Lucasade, which was it's really fun actually. Like it's not turn-based, weirdly. I don't know what happened. Square Enix went, fuck it, we'll do away with it. So it's all combat, it's all action combat, and I quite like it. I'm quite having a bit of fun with it. I've got to, I don't know whether it's the end of the first chapter. No, it can't, because it is the first chapter. I don't know how far through I am. You've played it more than I have.
There's 18 chapters in the first chapter.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. So maybe I've made it through to the end of chapter 4 or 5 or something then, because I think I've got on board a train out of the city now. So okay. Yeah, so that was fun. I really enjoyed it. It's it's different, and it hits different to the original. I was saying to you, I played the first couple of stories or chapters of the original. Couldn't remember it and I can't even place the bits that are happening to the story. So, but that could be old age, because I can't remember anything these days. I lost a quiz going to my son yesterday. So, and the final game I've been playing, which is weirdly scratching that Titanfall itch, not in terms of mechs, there's no mechs in it, but it's called Metal Eden. And it's a first-person futuristic cyber robot androidy type adventure where you're essentially playing an android that can be rebuilt multiple times. It's not a roguelike, you just go through. I played the demo before and I'd mentioned it on our podcast, and it was a lot of fun, but actually now I'm deeper into it, there's a lot more mechanics and weapons and things have opened up, and it's such a whole heap of fun. It's got a bit of a Metroid element to it, not in terms of Metroidvania, going back and unlocking stuff, but you can turn into a ball and roll around for no reason whatsoever and electrocute people and fire homing missiles, which is quite fun. Just a different way to attack. Yeah. And then lots of unlocks and things. It's quite linear, but there's lots of wall running and dashing around, and it's that real kinetic movement and thing that is similar to Titanfall. So having a lot of fun with that at the moment. I think I'm on the third beat of it, and they're probably maybe an hour each or so. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with that. That's what I've been playing. What have you been playing?
Well, I was just going to say on yours, it's a nice sort of eclectic mix there, isn't it?
There's no roguelikes, Dan. I don't know what's happened. There's no roguelikes. Yeah. I've washed my hands of them. Now Hades 2 is done.
Well, I've had a bit of a quieter week, but only because Final Fantasy is taking up so much time, because, it's a big game. So yeah, I've been ploughing through Final Fantasy VII Integrate still. I am at chapter 8, I think now, so I won't give any spoilers, but yeah, so like you said, so I think, apologies, because last week I think I said the classic mode would be turn-based, but I think neither is turn-based. It's just one is more automated, I believe, than the other. But yeah, I remember saying to you, I played the first hour of the original, but it brings back no memories and it feels so different from it. And yeah, I've really enjoyed it. It's still, you could tell it's a very early game in because the script is still a bit cliched, but having fun. And there's this one battle you come up to at the end of this certain part where you're facing this big boss, and I think I said to you that you've got the option before you get to it to disable certain bits of it before and you've got choice, and I kind of like that. And I was thinking, I'm sure some other games have done it, but I think it's a really interesting idea. So, because I sat there for about 5 minutes running across the room to each console thinking, which one am I going to do? Because I only had the ability to switch one of those off. So
interestingly, you say that about doing something to stop a mechanic in the boss fight. And I just remembered, I haven't picked up Clara Obscura this week, but that Serene fight that I was talking about, there's one of the bosses before her you can fight to make that fight easier.
Yes.
Which I did and defeated before I took her on. I don't know what happens if you don't, but that apparently is the one that's weaving the stuff at the wheel. If you kill that first, that makes that next boss battle easier.
I think, you're absolutely right. I think if you don't kill that one, it appears as a helper for that boss.
Even worse. So, because it's a pain in the ass to beat in the first place.
Yeah, I felt bad on that one because it doesn't attack you, but it gave me the option. So I thought, well, why not?
Gonna
it's
do
XP.
it.
It's all XP, right?
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, so that's the main game. Been playing, or I started to play a bit of Dave the Diver.
You're gonna have to let me know about that, because I think that's similar to Moonlighter. It's got shopkeeping elements, or
It's weird.
serving elements, or something.
I knew nothing about it. It was in the Steam library, so I'd heard good things about it, and it's a real weird mashup of games. So it's very 80s, early 90s pixel arty. Reminds me kind of like LucasArts and things like that. And your main mechanic is you're Dave and you have to go diving. So you have to catch fish to bring back to, there's on the beach, there's a sushi bar. So you've got to provide fish for that to provide more meals. And then while you're there, you've then got to, it's almost like a play up game or whatever it is. So customers will come in, they'll order something. You've got to collect it from the chef, get it to the customer in time. Some might want just a drink, and the drink game is where you've got to fill the tea up to a certain level to get it right. Sometimes you'll have to pick up the dirty dishes to get rid of them, and you've got to make money through that bar. I'm very early on in the game, but then while you're diving, you might come up against another person. They'll say, oh, while you're down there, I'm researching this type of starfish or something, or coral. Can you get me some? Not coral, because that would be bad, but you know what I mean. Can you get me? Yeah, it might
It's only a game there. I think it's okay.
But there's there's a oxygen mechanics. So you can't get too far, but you might find oxygen in the water. So it's just a real sort of mix of almost like there's that diving game, the restaurant management, and a couple of little mini games. So it's.
How are you finding the restaurant piece then? Because when I said it's like Moonlight, it sounds very similar, because there's obviously a shop mechanic or sales mechanic of some element, and you were like, yeah, I'm not sure I'd get on with that. How are you finding it in Dave the Diver?
I'm quite early on, so I don't know if it gets any more involved, but at the moment it's purely, you just got to make sure you're getting fish to put on the menu, and the mechanic there is more serving the customers and picking it up, because I'm sure it'll become more involved, because now the bit I've got to, I can't remember what it is, if it's like wasabi or there's an ingredient that you've got to make sure is topped up sort of by playing again another little mini game, because that's used in the dish. So while you're doing all that, you've got to keep an eye on that level. So it starts introducing these other little mechanics. But yeah, I mean, it's fun.
It's half price on Xbox sale as well at the moment, so I might pick out, because it sounds like something I could probably stick on the ROG and have a go at. Yeah,
so all these I've been playing on the Steam Deck in handheld mode. So yeah, it works. It's perfect on that. So yeah, and it's great for, I think, a little half hour sort of dip every now and then.
Oh, I see what you did there. That's
I wish
good.
I meant that. So let's just say I did.
You did. It's fine. Don't tell that. Don't get the secrets away there.
Yeah. And the last game I played is actually for an upcoming review called Son of Art. Won't give anything away in terms of views, because I've only played it a little bit, but it's a puzzle game where you go into, almost like you're going into the paintings of famous artists. So the first one is Magritte. I'm now on Picasso, but you've got to solve puzzle to get to almost to finalize that painting, if you know what I mean. So it's very weird. It's kind of my kind of game, in, sort of the 2D point click kind of puzzle things. But yeah, stay tuned. Probably 4 weeks time to find out about that.
Mind you, we've got a few coming before then, haven't we? So.
Yeah.
It's
so
fair.
I think that's it. I did say to you, I bought myself in one of the sales, because obviously we've got the Steam sale going on, and there's a few, there's a few other websites. I didn't get it from Steam, but I think, was it Green Man Gaming? I picked up God of War Ragnarok. Not realising it's like 175 gig.
I couldn't believe it when you said that. I was like, I'm sure that cut. Has he put a 1 on the front of that?
Yeah. So I sent you evidence. And I'm like, well, I could move Final Fantasy 7 to the memory card. And I'm like, do you know what? I'm going to finish Final Fantasy and then I'll come play it. Because the drive I've got on the Steam Deck is only 256 gigs. So
you can swap it out, though. So you could treat yourself to a terabyte stick and just rebuild it on a terabyte.
We're talking about, I know we're not talking about memory. We're talking about storage. So that's
probably still quite reasonable for, and they are quite often in sale. I think even today on I'm going to say Eurogamer. There was an offer of a stick that was cheap today, and I can't remember which one it was because it was this morning. There you go, 1 terabyte WD SSD from Amazon.
But while we are on the Steam Deck, actually,
£78, Dan. It's under a grand, under 100 quid, £78.
Well, there you go. But then I've got to open it up and I'm clumsy. But so, there you go. While we're talking about Steam Deck, because I did see it, because I didn't have it on my stories, I don't think. But yeah, the Valve have announced that they're stopping the LCD version, which kind of makes sense why they've done a couple of sales on it in recent months. Shift it. I think I can get it. I mean, we were saying today at lunch, weren't we, that with all the new hardware they're coming out, they probably just want to streamline, and especially with memory that they're going to have to buy.
I suspect that's probably more it, right? I think this is a case of where can they ensure that they're cutting production costs or purchase costs so they can afford to produce other hardware. Now, this might have happened naturally had the RAM issues not occurred. It might have, because it's nearly a 6-year-old handheld console now. Yeah. So it's hardly surprising. I mean, the Switch 2's out now, and that was a 5-year, 6-year cycle, a bit more. So I think it would have happened anyway. But yeah, I think potentially this RAM thing has probably maybe forced their hand a little bit and kind of gone, well, actually, we'll cut production on that. Are they still? Is it both LCDs? Do you know, or is it just the one, just the lowest tier?
I think they only do one LCD now. I think it's the LCD 256, and then it's 2 OLEDs with, I think one is half terabyte. Yeah, 5 terabyte, and then the other's a full one, I think. So, yeah, it's just interesting there. Just interesting. I sort of dropped that in because my first story is concerning Steam, and we're at the end of the year, and all these sites, distraction. All these sites are doing these kind of wrap up of the year, etc. Even LinkedIn did one. Did you see that? Did you? I think
I did it last year. LinkedIn as well.
Oh, I didn't even see it.
I mean, it's not something that's going to keep you awake if you miss it, to be honest.
The social mediaification of LinkedIn continues.
Everything.
Steam have done one, and from PC Mag, PC Mag, they've said the good thing about it is stats are obviously then sort of publicly available. So they said that 14% of overall playtime in 2025 were in games released this year. So only 14% of all game time logged was games in this year. So last year's results were 15%, whereas the year before, 2023, were much lower at 9%. Steam also found that 44% of the time spent on the platform was on games released between 2018 and 2024. 40% of playtime was on titles made before then, due in part to games like Dota 2 and PUBG. And these results total 98%. Steam hasn't shared what the final 2% of time is spent on. Maybe it's people that don't want to admit to what they played, but it may be on demos, etc., unofficially released tools. But yeah, what do you think of that? I mean, I guess it's not unusual for gamers to play old games, but yeah, only 14%. And we talked about the amount of games that have come out this year on Steam. Yeah,
I mean, a percentage of that, whether it's, between 2 and 5 million or whatever many Steam Decks have been sold, is going to be a portion of that, right? Because Steam Decks don't notoriously run more modern games well anyway. There's going to be a pricing element, I think, as well, because major releases generally come out and don't dip in price for a good 6 to 12 months afterwards. Even in the Steam sale, you're still seeing. There's a few Arc Raiders, I think, it's come down a little bit, maybe by 10, 15% off. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me. There's going to be a chunk of it that is MOBA games and things like that, that are people are just addicted to and want to continue playing. So that those are going to, so yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, if I think about the games that I've played. Yeah, all right. You've got games like Hades 2 and Absalom and things like that were released this year that I have played to death on the thing. Every other game's probably not of this year that I've played on it. It's probably even the other games I've played on Steam, like Half-Life Alyx and things like that, they're all from years ago. It doesn't surprise me. There's some real gems out there that people will have missed on. And we'll talk about this a bit later in terms of, the journey so far and where we've got to with the pod. There's some stuff that I would never have even dreamed of picked up. And thanks to Steam, I have. So, and found some real quality things that I'd never dreamed of playing. So Yeah, it doesn't shock me particularly, especially not with Game Pass doing what it does, and
Yeah.
they own pretty much
think,
every fucking studio in the world now. So
yeah. Well, you're right. I think about Steam and like Steam Deck. So, I mean, we've joked before that I do like older games, and buying the Steam Deck for me opened up a whole world that I didn't have access to before. So I'm loving at the moment catching up on some of these older games. You know, I'm not necessarily saying old games, but older games. So yeah, I just think that is the beauty of the handhelds. But also there are certain games that people love, like Red Dead Redemption 2. People still love that. And that's a hell of a game to play. GTA 5 online. You've got, you know, kind of like the Mass Effect trilogy, because we've got to mention that in every game. Yeah, you've got a lot of games that take people.
They play Half-Life on there. I mean, for fucking competing.
only up to 2. You got
Andromeda. Andromeda. I'm just putting it out there.
So yeah. I guess as you said, it makes sense. So, yep. Let us know what you've been playing this year. I mean, we did ask you for your games of the year last week. So hopefully you've given us some of those.
Not last year yet. You can say that next week.
Yeah.
Dan, before you move on, I have to fucking ask, because it's fucking giving me the heebie-jeebies. What the fuck is that on your shelf behind you?
The gonk.
The what?
This thing.
Oh, it's a gnome. Okay.
I think they're called gonks, I think.
Oh, okay, that's fine. That's it. I was with the camera and the way it was sitting, I was like, I don't even know what that is. It looks like some sort of gremlin sitting behind Dan. Elf on a shelf.
It's a third person in this relationship. Right, let's move on. So, yeah, not necessarily a great story, this one, but something that we briefly mentioned in our episode on AI, and something that you kind of linked, but the word crunch has crept back up in the last week. So this is from Eurogamer. So The Last of Us studio, Naughty Dog, reportedly mandated crunch to ready a demo for Intergalactic, their Heretic Prophet. So a news report claims that Last of Us and Uncharted studio Naughty Dog recently ordered its employees to take on mandatory overtime hours, often known as crunch, to finalise a demo for its next game. They were allegedly, or according to a report by Bloomberg, staff were asked to work a minimum of 8 extra hours a week to get back on track after missed deadlines, but to work no more than a total of 60 hours a week. In addition to the extra hours, sources at Naughty Dog said developers were instructed to come into the office for 5 days a week. This was up from the previous 3 days a week. And a knock-on effect of this change left many employees needing to source extra child, pet care, and so on. The report has said management has told employees its in-office mandate will return to 3 days a week for January, and that is just a period of time that they need to get through to this. It began in late October, though some wonder if it will happen again. So, I mean, I remember, it kind of feels about 10 years ago, right, that crunch was the dirty word in game development. Now, we'll come on to it after it's AI, but it was then crunch. And it's also Naughty Dog. Now, look, they're saying 8 hours a week, but it's mandatory. Naughty Dog have always come across as one of those inverted, sort of a really good studios, doesn't it? So, kind of what's your take on this story?
Naughty Dog being a naughty dog.
Naughty
dog. I think if they stop making remakes, they probably have enough time to not knock out a demo, Dan. That's my perspective. Look, crunch isn't great either way. I don't know why there would be pressure to get a demo out. I guess the pressure's only going to come one place, and I suspect that's publishers. It's a bit like writing a book. You know, you give a deadline when something's going to be ready, and the publisher expects it to be ready. Let's be honest, a studio the size of Naughty Dog, who've got games like Last of Us under their belt, is anyone really going to, they're getting to the Rockstar area of the stratosphere where it's like, the game's going to be fucking good, whatever happens. Do I really care if it's going to be late and therefore people aren't working?
But it's for a demo as well. That's what I don't get.
I don't know. What is so special about the demo? Is it going to be, it doesn't need to be released for a specific occasion, for a specific thing? Is it a shadow drop in one of Sony's states of play? Is it who knows?
Well, I was going to say, we know that financial market, even if it's a demo, they say they're going to do something. If they don't, then it looks bad, right? We know markets go weird on stuff like that, even for a demo, though.
I've been alive and worked for a very long time. And there's been times when, yes, you're backed up against the wall and you have to work additional hours. Never, for me, except from my very early days of working when I worked at a silkscreen printing factory, was it mandatory. It's always been voluntary. You've always gone, I stick my hand up, I love what I'm doing, I'll go and do it. Crunch is bullshit, no matter which way you look at it. Right? Mandatory crunch is bullshit. That's my view.
Yeah, hopefully it's just a one-off thing and we don't see this back. But yeah, I remember back in the day it just felt like it was rife. But yeah, I guess we'll keep an eye on that because, as you said, with Rockstar as well, also being in the news for sort of like employee shenanigans, it's 2026 could be interesting.
Hey, mate.
Yeah. Give us one of your stories. I know you bought a couple.
Oh, I want to go back to your previous story about wrap-ups.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, wrap-ups. So, interestingly, Xbox.
Oh,
yeah, Xbox wrap up, whatever you want to call it, 2025 isn't happening due to marketing budget constraints. Xbox have run out of money to do a wrap up for you. I mean,
saw that, yeah.
Well, you sent it to me recently. Half of me is like, I don't really care. Do I pay attention to those things? Not really. Like, you skip through them and you're like, oh, that's interesting. So if they were going to spend a couple of £1 million, dollars, whatever, rolling it out to all their users, could that money be spent better elsewhere? Absolutely. Well, it's Microsoft, so maybe not. Maybe they're just trying to fucking, I don't know, polish a turd like with Game Pass. But yeah, I just think it's a weird thing for Xbox to kind of go, yeah, sorry, we've run out of money, so we're not doing it for you. Did you spend too much on Activision again? Is that what you've done? Have you gone out and spent a bit too much money?
Those Christmas parties. Yeah.
So it was weird,
Yeah, and like you said, you're right. I sent it to you, and I don't think Microsoft have confirmed that, but they wouldn't right now. I kind of like these. I find them interesting more because it's interesting to see where I've spent my time playing. It's usually if it's on the Xbox, it's a certain trilogy, which I won't risk of upsetting you again by saying. But I think that's it. I think it's interesting. But how much money do these things cost to produce? Because like you said, if it is millions upon millions, then fair play. But it's just not a good look at the moment when everything we've said. So if we look at just some of our headlines, $1 trillion or however many it was, job cuts, Game Pass rises, hardware rises, and now they're taking away something that looks to most consumers as a bit of fun. And LinkedIn is doing it. Spotify's done it. Everyone has done it. Nothing
is a good look for Microsoft at the moment. To quote the great Noel Gallagher, they are like a man with a fork in a world of soup when it comes to video games at the moment. Microsoft are just, I don't know what they're doing. They're absolutely appalling. And one of their excuses, which I thought, you said you joked about Christmas parties. It's not actually Christmas parties. It's anniversary parties, mate, that's driving the money.
Really?
Because next year it's the Xbox 25th anniversary. It's Blizzard's 35th anniversary. It's Bethesda's 40th anniversary. So they've got three big things that they're going to need to market heavily.
Yeah.
You're going to invest in studios, Microsoft. Fucking bear that in mind in future. All right. Don't have the rolling anniversaries on the same year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then laying off people, and oh man, they're just treading it all over the place. These guys,
it's crazy. It's like I said, I don't think it's a bad thing in itself. It's just Microsoft. Do you think like their exec must always worry when marketing approach them with their new idea, or
the CFO approaches them?
I was going to say, or finance. Yeah, they get a knock on the door from finance. Yeah.
Any memo from the finance team or marketing, they're just going, right, so I'm going to get my coat. I think I'll just go.
We've crunched the numbers, crunch them again. All right, yeah, I've got another. The story, actually, I've seen another example of it today, but it's from PC Gamer, and I just love how it's been dubbed. So it's the Rampocalypse. So
I like that name now. Well, that's sticking, the Rampocalypse.
So we've obviously said with AI sort of scooping up everything RAM. This headline here is the Rampocalypse has developed a whole new style of scam And I've now seen this happen twice, but it's where people are ordering memory online, predominantly from Amazon, but I'm sure it's from sellers, I'm going to say. In both instances, a customer's ordered DDR5 memory to only find when they've received it, they've got, in this case that I've got here, DDR2, and then another one I saw today, DDR4. And I think the one I saw today, unfortunately, don't have it on me. They only saw it because they opened up the machine or whatever they got and saw that it was, you know, I mean, it's not easy. It's not difficult to find out what RAM you've got in there now, I guess. But it's just what we've said before, isn't it? That you're either going to be charged through the nose for RAM or you're going to get less. But now we're actually starting to see the scams, right?
With these things, if a deal looks too good to be true, it is. But I think that's bottom line. Everything is. And the minute someone gets hold of these sorts of things, someone will find a way to make money out of it, or to scam someone, or to, you know, knock someone off. It's ridiculous. You know, fucking hate humans. They're just fucking horrible. This just are. Sorry, humans. You know what? Why? What? Just be fucking nice. It's not. You know, but I've got 2 sticks of DDR4. I would never even dream, no matter how desperate I was, of going, I'm going to rip someone off. I can't.
Okay. No, and that's because you're a good egg, Dan. But the thing I'm worried about is that, like I said, we would know. So, like, if you buy a new laptop, whatever, you're going to check it, or you buy memory, you're going to check it. But if there are people that are less savvy, they might not necessarily know, you know, and this scam will work.
It will, yeah. Scams, scalpers, all that sort of stuff. What was this? I was reading the other day. There's a guy on YouTube does some really good stuff, and he was essentially saying you can buy these cut down version of a PS5 board essentially, but it's an all-in-one PC essentially. It comes on a little card. It's an AMD card, but it will run Steam, and it will run games at decent clips, 60 frames a second, not quite in 4K, but you know, it'll do a really good job because it is a cut down version of PS5 chip. And he's basically saying, you know, you should be able to pick one of these up. Don't pay more than $120 or something for it. That's what he was saying. The minute you then go on eBay and have a look, they're now selling for $300-400 quid. Yeah, and he's like, they sell for $100, $130, and in the UK it's what, £100, and people are selling for £300-400. It's just like, the minute someone gets a sniff of something, it just turns into, how can I, you know,
but you know, you and I have worked in retail, right? And there are some genius people out there, but they generally tend to use that genius for the bad, right? Like you were saying, like you wouldn't dream of wanting to rip someone off if you had some spare memory. But it's like, if there's a way of getting around a system and scamming something, people are genius for that, aren't they?
Yeah. I've got 2 sticks DDR4. And if anyone's in the market with some DDR4, I'll happily sell it to you. That's fine. I'll sell you at a reasonable price as well, right?
Do online live auction on Twitch. Yeah. Sorry, just before I go to your other story, I did click on a link. It's not a random link. It was a link within the story.
Sure.
PC Gamer. Yeah. Just because it said this headline here. So with scams, over $90,000 worth of RTX 5090 GPUs have been replaced in box by crossbody backpacks at just one Silicon Valley micro center. So yeah,
you know what I mean? People are finding a way to do something dirty. It's fuck them. Oh,
just
mate,
incredible.
Makes me angry, this sort of stuff. I do apologise for you, but it just really pisses me off.
Yeah.
Well, mine isn't a bad news story. Mine's a good news story, Dan.
I've got another bad news story after this. So,
sandwich. It's the shit sandwich, isn't it?
We messed up the order. So.
Yeah, we did, yeah. Well, mine is a good news story for people like me, idiots who can't play difficult games. So I've been long wanting to play through the story of Chronos New Dawn. Chronos New Dawn, I died at the second enemy many times and went, fuck this, I'm not bothering, and switched off because it was too difficult. It was silly difficult. Like, you know, I'd either die multiple times at the hand of the enemy or finish the enemy with such little health that progression was almost impossible because of the checkpointing system. So the guys at Bloober Team have clearly heard me. Thanks for that. You know, they've heard me moaning about it.
Biggest fans. Yeah.
Yeah. And they are releasing a mode. They have 2 modes at the moment. And just to be clear, they have a standard mode called Anvil of the Collective, and they have a hard mode called Forged in Fire. They're releasing a mode called Temporal Driver, so they're not even trying to belittle me by calling it girly pants for Dan.
Story mode.
That's going to arrive early next year, and it essentially doubles the player's health and halves the enemy's health. I can deal with that. But otherwise, everything else remains unchanged. So I'm happy with that as a compromise. If I'm not happy with it, I will obviously phone them up again and get them to change it again. You're welcome. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. The demo's still out, by the way, if people want to play it. It's on Steam and Epic. It is a great game. I think it looks beautiful. I love Bloober Team stuff. You've just played Silent Hill 2 remake by the team. So, they've done some fantastic work. I can't wait to play it now. I'm gonna stack that back up.
See,
I paid money for that, Dan. It's not a game. I paid cold hard cash for a game I can't play. Elden Ring.
This is it. I think we said it in our Souls-like episode, right? I think we were talking about difficulty level in that. So go check it out because it also has got the wonderful Joey from Game Club Pod in it.
Yes.
I haven't got an issue with it. I mean, Liza P did this as well recently. I know there's going to be purists. Well, if you can't play it, then you shouldn't play it. And it's like, but why can't I experience a game? Why can't I give the developers my money?
If you can't get good, Dan.
Yeah. Anyway, let's not upset people on New Year's. Almost Eve.
I think I've done that already. I told them I hate humans.
Well, we're going to do that now, I think, as well. No, we're not. Look, it's just we have discussed just last week. We talked about the Game of the Year awards and how fantastic Claire Obscure Expedition 33 did. Now, this week at Time Writing, it's been a whole hullabaloo, hoo-ha, I think.
You can, whichever adjective you want to use to describe it. What do you want to go with? Hullabaloo?
I've used shenanigans here.
I like shenanigans. I think it's a great word.
There's been shenanigans
More
and they've
shenanigans.
been accused. They've shenaniganized everything. So I've got a couple of articles here which I've nabbed. So there's Insider Gaming and Polygon. But basically, so Claire Obscure won Game of the Year at an Indie Awards ceremony. Then shortly after were disqualified because of use of AI. Now, the second placed games are going to win, so they're not going to deny anyone that title. And I think Blueprints maybe is winning it.
Correct.
But the quotes, and again, I am paraphrasing, but it feels it's once you start peeling the layers of this whole AI thing, it starts to get quite messy. So basically,
Your fucking understatement of the year. This whole AI thing's got a bit messy, Dan. Has anyone noticed?
Well, we're here to break the news. So I'm actually saying, it's going to be all AI next year, isn't it? So quotes from earlier in the year from Sandfall Interactive's Françoise Moury made the rounds on social media last week amid a news cycle caught up in the use of generative AI in games, sparked by comments from Larian Studios' Sven Vink. Again, pronunciation possibly not right, who said Larian is using AI tools to develop the forthcoming Divinity. Sandfall Interactive had previously admitted to use of Gen AI in developing Claire Obscure in June. Now, the Spanish paper El Pay published a story, including an interview around the launch, where Maurice said that Sandfall used a minimal amount of generative AI in some form during the game's development. We used some AI, but not much, he said. The key is that we were very clear about what we wanted to do and where to invest our efforts, and of course, technology has allowed us to do things that were unthinkable not long ago. Now, I didn't know this. Apparently, the game launched with some AI textures. Now, I've seen the pictures, and it's just like on a lamppost. It's some newspaper cuttings or flyers. So it's a very small piece.
Something quite innocuous, not...
Yeah, that they patched out 5 days after release. Now, people are saying, did they mean to do that, or were they caught out and they quickly patched it out? It's up for the reader to interpret, but some people are calling again shenanigans on their reasoning. But yeah, they patched out some Gen AI. Sandfall and Claire Obscure received nowhere near as much backlash as 11-bit Studios did for the alters, which included AI generated background assets. The studio states was in contact with the Spanish paper, on April 25th. Sandfall Interactive indicated it used a limited number of pre-existing assets, notably 3D assets sourced from the Unreal Engine marketplace. None of those were created using artificial intelligence. They further clarify that there are no generative AI created assets in the game, and when the first AI tools became available in 2022, some members of the team briefly experimented with them to generate temporary placeholder textures. Upon release, some of those were found to be in the game and they quickly patched it out. But it's starting to get really tricky for some of these developers now, isn't it? And like we said, the backlash that's starting to happen, not just against them, but generally in the gaming world. We're just going to see this grow, right, and increase, aren't we?
I think it's going to be difficult not to. AI is very quickly, you think about where it's come from in just a few short years and where it is now, but to the point where you can watch some stuff and see some stuff and not even be able to tell the difference, genuinely. But yes, there's a lot of slop out there, and there's putting cats' faces on people and things like that. Is like, I get it. But there is some stuff and some very clever stuff where it is very difficult to tell the difference. And I think as we go through that, there are going to be instances where certain studios are going to be like, well, if I can't tell, is anyone else? Did did Samful do this and kind of go, well, no one will notice. And then someone noticed, they went, oh, quick, remove it. No, it was an accident. Yeah. I think you're going to see this more and more. I think you're right. AI, you're going to see more and more. AI is going to be the bad guy until it can find a way to bring the prices in RAM down. Dan, that's just the truth of it.
Yeah.
Once it does that, it'll be the hero again.
Yeah.
Look, you and I have had this debate back and forth over AI.
Yeah, we might,
and we'll continue to, because I do believe there is a place for it. There is a place for it to do good. That doesn't replace people's jobs, doesn't replace people's art, all of those things. We have to come to terms with the fact that it is around and it's not going anywhere. And we have to find a way to work with it. I don't know what that looks like, but I just know it is what it is.
And let us know your thoughts on it, listeners. But just a very quick sort of a news just in the sense of my wife messaged it to me earlier. It's from Sky News. Now, she's not really, she's not really, well.
Is she handing you bits of paper from the start?
I made it a bit more dramatic. She sent it to me a couple of hours ago, but yeah, let's keep the pretense up. But no, she's not techie, like I said, but she hears us talk about certain things, and she saw this AI. Again, I'm going to paraphrase it, but, this isn't scaremongering, but is the AI bubble about to burst? If so, the consequences could be dire. Now, I'm going to skip down to here.
Hang on. We know that's not true because we know the exact date it's going to burst because it told Joey.
Well, yeah.
So we know that it's not about to, but don't panic, people. There's an exact date. We've got it. Mark it in your calendars.
We'll get it for you again. But I just love this thing here. So basically, it's halfway down the Sky News story. It said, if a few venture capitalists get wiped out, no one's going to be that sad, because they're talking about investment in it. Yeah. They said, but with a large part of US economic growth this year down to investment in AI, the blast radius could be much greater. In the worst case, what happens is the whole economy falls apart. Basically, banks aren't liquid. We have bailouts and taxpayers have to pay for it. Now, just to give some figures here, they've said, could it happen? They said, well, there are ominous signs. So one estimate puts Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Meta and Oracle to spend around $1 trillion on AI by 2026, so within the next couple of weeks, while we're recording. OpenAI, make with the first large language model, ChatGPT, is committed to spending $1.4 trillion over the coming 3 years. And they said, but what are investors getting back? And OpenAI is expected to make little more than 20 billion in profit in 2025. Whilst that's a hell of a lot, they're putting 1.4 trillion in. So there is a bubble. Is it going to burst? I don't know. But it's this whole risk, isn't it? This risk reward thing, and they are putting all the chips on AI, right? That's what seems to be happening
for years. So Amazon famously didn't turn a profit for years and years and years until it did. And then it became the biggest retailer on the planet. Well, one up next to Ali. But, these things happen. I think the concern that I would have looking at it is the American economy is not notoriously stable right now for multiple reasons. And you see it in the news headlines every day around the US and food prices and inflation and, certain decisions being made and investments being made. Yeah, I think, there probably is a lot of concern around it. And if AI, not actual AI, but if the AI bubble is propping up a bunch of those markets and something does suddenly happen, they could all be in a whole heap of shit. I mean, we all could be.
Yeah. And if the world does fall apart, you'll hear us talk about it. So,
Well, if the power's still on, Dan, that's the thing. Yeah. Otherwise, we'll just be standing on street corners on soapboxes shouting like lunatics.
And let's just hope neither of our laptops decides to break in the next year.
Yeah, you don't want to be trying to buy. Well, you might be able to buy one with 8 meg in it.
Yeah, right. Look, let's put that bad news or interesting news aside.
Happy end of the year, everyone.
Yeah. Right. We said at the start it's going to be slightly different. And as it's the end of year, and as it's kind of like your first foray into podcasting, I just wanted to take a look back at kind of like the 6 months we've had. I mean, I know we've been going technically, I think, since April, didn't we? But
yeah,
we
did. Was it April? I think it was May. May?
We did, like I said, we did a couple of episodes as casting views, and then I think we went properly in May. So I'm just going to throw some stats at you. So hopefully, listener, you let us indulge ourselves a little bit, but I also want to celebrate the work that Dan has done as well.
We've done,
but
this is a duo,
the video, yeah, I know, but there's some thanks to be said. So the review of the year, I'm making it sound official. This was as of midnight on the Sunday, the 21st of December.
Is this Gaming Views wrapped? Have we got a bigger marketing budget than Xbox? Is that official?
Basically, yeah, we are delivering where others have failed. So, do you remember when I said, you're so right. Do you remember when I was laughing at LinkedIn and we've got a podcast here, an indie podcast doing a rap?
Let's do it. Right. Let's do it, Dan. I'll put some funky music on behind us.
Because I'm committed to staying up late. So as of midnight on Sunday, the 21st of December. So we've put out 52 episodes, of which there were 33 main episodes and 19 gaming reviews. I'm surprised we did that many. I didn't realise.
I can't believe. Well, you sat through most of the shit. I sat through quite a lot of shit.
Well, no, I played a lot of good things I like. You enjoyed a few things. So Spotify. So on the Spotify audio, and I meant to say, just jump in at any point if there's anything.
No, I'm going to sit back. I was going to get some popcorn actually. While you
do it, yeah. You should put some nice like soothing music. Some music.
I'm gonna, the old tune from the movie show that was on BBC and dun dun dun, 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 dun. I'll find it. I'll put that on.
And on Spotify, we currently have we've got 64 followers. So thank you very much to all of you.
Indeed.
We have had year-to-date 2,164 streams and downloads across all audio platforms. So again, thank you to each and every one of you. We've been listened to in 35 countries. So I'm not going to go into them all, but the top 5 being the UK, the US, Canada, Japan and Ireland, with some other notable inclusions being Brazil, Ecuador and Cambodia.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice. So Ecuador, Cambodia, that's mad, isn't it?
So they are listening to you all the way in Brazil and Ecuador, Dan.
Well, I'm not surprised. They probably can't understand a word that's coming out of my mouth. Not because I don't speak English, just because I speak it so poorly.
Spotify is the most popular platform for audio at 31.4%, followed by Apple Podcasts with 28.6%. The top 5 episodes for streams and downloads, the top one is the one featuring Mr. David Turner, and that's had 277 listens there.
He was a good egg. I really enjoyed that episode.
Yeah, and we are trying to get him on again. He
has promised to or threatened to come back.
If we say he's promised like he has done, we're putting it on him now, the guilt trip, right?
He shows us how to do it, and that's the thing. Yeah. Although we know how to use our mics better. I'm just saying, David. I'm just saying.
We've got a special episode on Keeper just for you. The next 4 episodes were the one featuring Mr. Ian Lee, which I'm sure we'll be discussing later.
We will.
Episode 1 is at number 3.
That's surprising.
Yeah, horror games at number 4, and Asus ROG Xbox Alloy Deep Dive, if I've got that name right as well. I can never remember what that one is.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, that's the top 5 episodes on Spotify. In the Spotify Wrapped, our show was in the top 25% of videos watched on the platform.
Wow.
It was a top...
All video? That can't be right.
Supposedly.
Top 25%?
And if I've got it wrong, I'm going to... If I've got it wrong, I'm going to watch it. Still stick by it, sorry.
Watch it.
I'm going to watch it. Well, I've got it on constant replay in the other room. That's why it's so many views. It's a top 10 show for 39 of our followers. It was a top 5 show for 29 of them, and it was a number 1 show for 10 of them.
Wow.
And apparently our debut season has been more popular than 90% of other new shows. So
no, that can't be right.
So I'm chuffed with that.
I think there was making it up on the spot.
No, but I think there was a stat somewhere once that, like, if you've done more than 5 episodes in a podcast, you're in the top X% because a lot of people start them up. Dan. Yeah, no, we're brilliant. We're brilliant.
It's quantity, not quality. That's counts,
why
people.
I said X episodes, because that could be 100, that could be 5. Okay. I'm not saying. On YouTube, which is where, like I said, I'm going to absolutely applaud you because the work you've done on that is superb. So we didn't start publishing videos on YouTube until episode 6, which was Half-Life 2. Do you remember I tried the green screen for that and I soon got rid of it?
Jumped in at the deep end with that one, didn't I?
Yeah.
What's your first go at editing? Fuck it, I'll replace the green screen. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, with a green, and then I got rid of it after that. That's the funny thing. Yeah. We have had, again, at that time, so across, this is on like shorts and videos, etc.
Yeah.
We've had 62,748 views, and that was 60,000 odd on shorts and 2,500 views on episodes.
Yeah.
The top 5 viewed is interesting because it's different selection. So number 1, and it's the viewers, Dan, it's not me. It was, has this game got the Mass Effect? So it was our Mass Effect.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
Yeah. One of your reviews, is this the best the RPG in 2025? That's number 2.
It's the only good one I've played.
Yeah.
Play more good games, we might get more views.
Number 3 is Wait, That's a Video Game Cliche. Number 4 is The Retro Revolution with Ian Lee. So he featured in our top 5 on both audio and video, and how Xbox lost over $1 billion. So, and that's why we're recapping. So yeah, I mean, I've then got some questions for you. So just initially on those stats, I mean, I know you don't tend to look at them, and especially Spotify, you don't really look at it because I do the Spotify side of things.
Yeah, I don't. Well, we both said we've never done this for the view. We do this because we love doing it and we really enjoy it. And as much as most people, I guess, or maybe slightly more, appreciate that time is very precious, and the most important thing you can buy from someone or have from someone is their time. So I genuinely want to say thank you to each and every person who spent the time just to even pop in and have a listen to the shit that we chat, because it means so much to think that one person has kind of gone, do you know what? I'm going to sit and have a listen to these idiots and get something from it, and that, you know, makes me feel genuinely proud of what we've done. I don't care how many people have listened. I don't care how many views we've got, and you know, we don't do this for money, fame, or any other nonsense. We do it because we really enjoy doing it, and weirdly we like each other. I don't know why. We still haven't worked that one out. So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone. It means so much, and I genuinely mean that when I say about subscribing, because, you know, seeing those numbers tick up, as much as we don't do it for the subscribers, is just lovely. You know, you just kind of go, oh, someone wants to know when something new we're doing's come out, and 100 people is a lot. 100 and whatever it is now it just means so much. It's not fucking millions, all right? I'm not, you know, Linus Talks Tech or whatever, you know, I don't care about that, but it's just lovely. It gives you a little fuzzy warm feeling.
Yeah, well, I've got questions for you. Questions for you, because we're going to go a little bit further into the journey. But yeah, I just want to echo what you said. Like, we've never sat down and looked at the figures. And actually, we've got, as of today, I think we've got another subscriber on YouTube. We've got 103 people. And what's more is when we get these notifications, like the subscriber, and honestly, we get that one person and it makes us so happy, because like you said, it's just that, it's quite a personal thing to follow a podcast or watch someone. So the fact that people have chosen to watch us, I think that's what I really appreciate. And
yeah, humans, whether you believe it or not, they thrive on validation no matter where it comes from. And it does. A single subscriber kind of validates what you do. You go, oh, we must be doing something all right. And that's how they get you the metrics and stuff. Like, I get that. But for me, it's more of a personal thing. It's like someone's actually interested in what we talk about or how we present ourselves or what we do. And it's a nice bit of validation for what we do. I'd still do this with you, buddy, even if no one fucking listened. But, you know, it's,
well, that's the thing. Well,
nice.
I've made all those up. I don't put these out on Spotify, so I just made
I didn't think so. I did wonder, but you just make me fucking redo stuff. Yeah, that's not quite working, Dan. Can you redo that? Yeah, sure.
But no, just to echo, we do appreciate every listen. We do appreciate every watch, and I'm sure we've said the story on here before. But Dan and I we came back into contact a couple of years ago, and you said, I think I asked you, and I wasn't sure if you thought I was being polite, because you said, yeah, if you want to, and then I was thinking, well, is he being polite saying that because I'm asking him? He said, then we started and we've just loved it, haven't we? And that's the thing. And I couldn't imagine not doing it now, because like I said, the drive that you got to want to get this up and going and everything on the pod. So, but let's put that aside. It's just to have a look back at the year. But there's some questions, and I'm grilling you, so it's unfair. I might put some of my comments here, but
okay.
Question 1. How have you found the podcasting journey so far? So, you know, before you started, because I know, like I said, I'd been in a couple before, but my main one. And then I kind of threw it at you and you've got involved. So, yeah, how have you found it?
How have I found it? hate it, Dan. I fucking hate it. It's just rubbish. No.
I see you enough, Dan, and now you make me talk to you on a Monday night.
For fuck's sake. When I find something I really enjoy doing, be it building Lego or video gaming, I generally jump in with both feet. And hopefully you'll recognise that that's exactly what I've done with this. I spend far too much time of a week editing or working out new ways to edit or fiddling about and playing with things that can improve. You know, I've said before, if I can improve 1% every week, after 100 weeks, I'll be 100% better than I was when I started. And that's always the thing I've wanted to do. I said on the podcast, you know, how you do something is how you do everything, right? So for me, you know, I've really loved coming on this journey with you. It's meant a lot to me emotionally as well. I was probably in a bit of a place before we started doing this, and this is going to sound fucking weird. You know, I've said before, don't bring this down, but I've suffered from depression most of my adult life and I have medication and all sorts for it. And I wasn't in a great place. I have like black dog days where I am incredibly low, and I was suffering for a bad patch of that. And when we started doing this, for whatever reason, and I can't quite put a point on why it was, it lifted me and it hasn't really stopped. And the number of bad days I've had, I could probably count on one hand in the last 6 months, 7 months. I'm not saying that's solely down to this, but this has absolutely had an impact and an influence on that, because it's driven me to first of all, find a hobby, which my wife always said to me, find a fucking hobby for fuck's sake, because you drive me insane. So I now have a hobby that I love. I absolutely love, that isn't costing me thousands of pounds in Lego. It is something genuinely that, you know, we do together. I do with my best friend. We sit here and we talk shit, or we go out on a walk and we talk shit, and we do it in a way where we can give something back to other people to hear as well. Yes, they're only our views, but everyone has one. And that's why we love the interaction piece as well. So it's meant so much on many different levels. It's opened so many doors in terms of gaming as well that I never even imagined I'd be bothered with. Games I never even thought I'd go and play. You only have to look at my Game of the Year list, and there's probably maybe one game on there that I would, pre-podcast me, would have gone, that's the sort of thing I play. The other five that I discussed, I think we had 6, including the
wild card. Yeah,
the wild card. The other 5, if you'd have asked me before I started doing that, I'd have gone, not interested. No, done with it. Not interested. So, you know, it's opened up all these avenues of things that I'm gobsmacked that I've gone and played and loved and enjoyed. And more importantly, I've said many times on here, fucking hell, editing does my head in. Yeah, it doesn't. I fucking love it, and I enjoy it so much, and I get so much out of having self-taught myself a new skill, because I am getting older, and I genuinely never thought I'd do something like that.
And this is, and I want to jump in here because this is what I want to say, and this is why I want to back up my comments from earlier. So, you know, I had done casting views for 4 years, never done video, had wanted to. Never had done it, and I got you in, and I get you. I get exactly what you're saying, because, you know, we were saying as well today. There's been things in the past, even for me, and with the community I've built up around me within podcasting, it's helped massively. We all have those, you know, those moments and those things that affect us in, you know, kind of in life. And I think without podcasting, I think I would be a lot worse for wear, you know, right now if we were seeing it. And you know, like you said, I only want to talk about things I enjoy talking about. And so we've always enjoyed talking about gaming. And so the fact is, we are talking about something we enjoy and hopefully other people enjoy. And it's great to have that outlet. And like you said, we're seeing our hobby almost in a different way because of what we're doing. And, you know, to get back on the main point is you wanted to do video. I think it was it was like, it would have been after like the third episode. You said, I want to do video. And I said, look, I didn't want to say no. So I said, all right, let's do it. And
Is that why we did it? You just humouring me. I didn't
because I'd always wanted to. And you took up the reign. And like I said, so everything, I've said before, everything you see sort of on YouTube and even the Spotify video, it's all done by Dan. And like I said, you've just constantly evolved and improved and, made something of our videos that I think could stand anywhere, I think, on YouTube. I honestly do. And, I know what you mean about editing, because I only ever edited audio, and that was a ball ache. I enjoyed doing it, but it was a ball ache. But I actually loved doing it. So let alone doing the videos. So that's where I'm going to say personally, thank you for doing that, because I love seeing our videos, and I've said to you sometimes the amount of times I've chuckled. Again, it might be subtle for some people, but when you've timed like a transition or a clip to perfection with what I've said, it's, I'm like sitting there going, yeah, really good, brilliant. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I'm going to say. That's for me about the podcasting journey for this show specifically, is kind of how you've just taken it by the scruff of the neck and just said, yeah, I'm doing this.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it, and look, I'm really pleased that you love it as much as I do, because I do the same. I sit there and edit stuff, and I get a kick out of it, and I laugh along when we're doing it. Whether other people find it funny or not, I find it fucking hilarious, because I'm just laughing at myself and you. And
it helps when you put laugh here at the bottom. It helps when you put that on the video.
Like the person with the sign just saying applause. Yeah. The other thing it's done is you guys in this, and I have to give a shout out to Joey and Alex and Tim and Satsu and the podcast guys. You've all welcomed me with open arms and either invited me on your pods to have a conversation, or which has made the transition from normal life into podcast life so much easier for me as well, because it's been such a lovely thing to join part of that community. So that's my thank you to you for opening those doors for me and helping make it easy to join this and do it. I mean, look, I am notoriously an introvert in most situations, but for some reason, when I sit in front of a camera or I sit with people, my extrovert side comes out. And so I, become quite gregarious and fucking annoying, frankly, to some people. But I very rarely get the chance to do it, apart from once a week with you. And when other people have invited me on. So, thank you to you, and thank you to them for putting up with my nonsense when I've done it, especially on Dungeons and Dragons episodes.
No, I listened to all the episodes where you've guested, like on Satsu and podcast. Go listen to GCP's Podmas D&D, please. But I've loved seeing you go onto those, guesting onto the other podcasts as well, because it's one of the things I really enjoy. And anyone listening, Dan and I are available both as a pair or solo if you want. But we go everywhere together. So, like I said,
we're joined at the hip.
Yeah, like I said, we're just in different rooms. But the beauty of guessing elsewhere is that you can talk about something different, or even if you're talking about the same thing, you're doing it with the knowledge that it's not your show and you're not going to do all the editing. So you can go on and just almost be relaxed and just talk about the subject. You know what I mean? There's an element of that.
The most awkward bit is when they go, tell us about your podcast. You're like, I don't really want to talk about it because go and fucking listen to it.
Yeah, well, I can't do intros after 33 episodes now. So it's like, yeah. All right. So kind of, you might have said it might have been part of your last answer, but were there any surprises or anything you were not expecting?
Oh, fucking tons. Like, who'd have thought after a couple of episodes we'd be fucking sitting there interviewing Ian Lee? The guy's a fucking legend. He's been on, I'm a Celebrity. And who in their right mind would have gone that? And this is all down to you. Just randomly, I'm gonna write him an email and see what he says. And for him to come back and go, I've checked some of your stuff. Yeah, I'd love to. And then I think even in the episode, he says, look, I get invited on hundreds of these things and I don't want to, I'm not interested. So, I think it might have been in his article in Retro Gamer. Who's fucking
let's not forget that.
Honestly, what the fuck? Like, we've been doing this for a couple of months and suddenly we're all right, it's a little footnote in a thing, but we're in Retro Gamer magazine.
Yeah.
I'm like,
which, he didn't tell us he was going to do. We didn't ask for that. So I think for me, that's the main thing, is that he did that without, he could have come on, he could have done the show and that's it. But then to take the time to do that article as well.
Gobsmacked again. And not not because this is about fame or recognition or anything other than the fact that this dude who doesn't know us from Adam has rocked up on our podcast, had a really lovely conversation with us. All right, 10% of it was about gaming, but then kind of gone, I really enjoyed that. Do you know what? I'm just going to say to people in Retro Gamer, go and give him a listen. I mean, we knew he was a lovely bloke from the minute he joined before we started recording. So we knew how genuine he was. Authentic is the word. He was going to be. Yeah, but that for me was a major shock. Like, what happened? You literally look around and you go, was that a thing? It's weird.
100%. Like you said, it came from a fact of, I mean, it's one of those things. If you could speak to anyone, he'd be on that list. The have a drink, and. So I said to you, shall I do it? Because the thing is, even me, I'm always doubting things like whether an idea's good. And you said, what's to lose? So I remember
we're going to lose. What are we going to lose by doing it?
Yeah, so
he's going to say no or ignore us. Fuck it. All right.
And like you said, it was just straight away there was that email contact, and he was emailing just to make sure we knew what was happening. And like you said, so people do go back, listen to the episode and watch the episode, especially watch it if you can to see him on video. But we had a half-hour chat before the episode. And that was awesome as well. So, like I said, so it wasn't just I'm coming, I'm going to do the show and go. We had a lot of time, and that was a surprise, wasn't it?
It was, and then we can't say mention that without mentioning Mr. Turner and the guys over at the Computer Game Show. Look, I'm not going to say go and watch theirs because let's be honest, they got far more fucking listeners and viewers than we are. They're one of the top gaming shows in the UK.
They got patrons as well.
And they got patrons. No, I'm joking. Go and listen. They're fucking brilliant. And they do. I often listen to their episode and I have to say to them, if you do listen to this, boys, we do not rip what you're doing because we record on a Monday night.
We've said that. You and I have said that, haven't I?
Before, because I'm like, I listen to their show and I go, fuck, they've got the same news as us, but they come out before us, so we're like a week lagging. So it might appear that we're ripping them. We're not at all. It just because it's everything's homogenized into his news stories. We end up often, talking about the same stuff.
Well, they record, I think, on a Monday and release on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
We record on a Monday and release the following Tuesday.
Yeah.
So, there's been a number of times, I think it was the AI episode. I remember because I tend to listen to them on the commute because they're a 2-hour show and, it's an hour either way. When we're not together on the train, because, again, we're always together, I'll listen to them. And it was the AI one. And I was thinking, I'm going to swear, I don't often swear, I was thinking, fuck, they've said what I'm going to say. But we come out like a week after. So,
it's so random. And I think that just shows how those guys do something similar in a very different way. And it's brilliant. And I love their show. And I think every single one of them is fucking brilliant. And even James, I think they're great. I think They do it differently, but I think we're on the same wavelength. They're quite combative in what they do, and they're clearly mates having a laugh, like a pub chat type thing, and it's phenomenal. Whereas we're quite agreeable. I think most of the stuff we talk about.
Are we?
No, we're not.
Go on. Yeah.
And so look, having Dave on the show, having a conversation with him, even if he can't work his mic, is fine. And we'll come back and we'll do something proper.
What I was going to say, what I will say about their show is I listen to the podcasts I listen to for one or two reasons. Either I like the subject or I like the presenters, and I could listen to them talk about anything. It doesn't have to be about video games. Because the amount of time I'm sitting on a train just almost like crying with laughter, because of what they're saying. So I get that. So all right, let's go into, because I think,
can I just say one more thing though? The other thing, our show wouldn't have been the same without some of the guests we've had on. We're talking about those, and I have to give a shout out to Mr. Joe Fitz as well, and just to say thank you so much for coming on in the early days and doing the Dark Souls episode. It was brilliant. But secondly, being my co-host while you fucked off and had your jollies.
Had a good time.
Well,
this is what I was going to say. My next question was going to be, have you got favourite moments or episodes?
Oh no, it's not favourite moment. Fucking hell, Joe was a nightmare. I mean, his rider list alone, mate.
I was gonna say the same thing. Firstly, all the guests we've had. So started off with Joey being our first guest. So a massive thank you to him, because that was a big thing for us, right? To have a guest, because it is difficult, because you get that, what's the word? chemistry between us. You know, you get that momentum going, and then to have someone else in, which we both, you know, and especially I've known Joey for years, so I know, and he's an awesome podcast host. But it's always that moment you have your first guest is always huge. Like it was Satsu for me on Casting Views.
Yeah.
So Joey for that, yeah, absolutely, and stepping in for me and worrying me with how good he was on here, and also so obviously we mentioned Ian and David, but yeah, the guests for me I think have been some of the have been standout moments as well, because it shows again that people want to come on and talk to you. That's and
I really enjoyed doing the A-Team intro as well for us.
God, oh yeah, that's where kind of like our pre-credit skits and things come from. It was that, I think it felt like that moment, wasn't it?
I don't know what happened. I just had a fucking connection and just went, I'll just do that. Weirdly, one of my favourite episodes, and maybe it's the reason it's one of my favourite, well, maybe my favourite episode, is the one I genuinely wasn't looking forward to at all. I think we've got into a flow state now, and it doesn't matter what the subject is, we'll find interesting stuff to talk about in it. But it was our first one when we'd gone a bit off. We weren't doing a hardware deep dive. We were talking about special editions.
Oh, right, yeah.
Right, and I'd said to you before we started recording, I'm not looking forward to it because I don't know much about it. It's not a topic I'm particularly into, but it was, and please do go and have a watch. I don't know why, but it's become one of my favourite episodes. I think there was something about it, whether it was the chemistry, whether it was just that day of recording, I don't know, but we were very much in sync. And it was just, there were some very funny moments. Genuinely, when I was editing that, I was just, when we were talking about the zombie apocalypse and the camp and the, Steve from Minecraft. And I just, I was just in bits editing the thing. So, and it was one of my, like I said, one of my very favourite episodes. So, that for me, of course, there's been so many memorable moments. There's only been 6-7 months, but having the guests on and doing all that was brilliant. If I don't say Ian Lee, he'll get very upset and tell us off. Yeah. But of course, it was him. Going to see his show.
Yes,
it wasn't a specific podcasting thing, but going to see him and just watch that.
That was a night out for the two of us as well, wasn't it? Yeah,
dinner and a date. Yeah, that was lovely as well. Yeah, but there's been loads, and it's genuinely been so much fun doing this. I look forward to every Monday night sitting and recording with you, talking. Well, I say we talk shit, but we don't. We talk about things we care and love about, and we have got a passion for this stuff, and I think that hopefully that comes across. I know I've aggravated my wife and kids all the time about what I do. Because at the beginning, before I understood how to edit properly, I was genuinely doing this for hours upon hours every night. And now I've got it down to a couple of hours a week. It's all good. And that probably see that reflected in the quality of what you get. But now I have a habit. I have a project status thing that I update and work to, and everything becomes much more easier because of it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And everything you said, likewise, again, it's just been great to do this with you. I think what I've enjoyed is I like how we compliment each other. So in the sense of, not that you say I'm great, because, you
I never tell you that.
No. I like how we compliment each other. So when we do things like the deep dives, I love coming with the stats and facts, but I love how you put your memory and you kind of remember, and you put like the scene, you kind of set the scene. So I think between the two of us, you kind of get like the experience, but also the stats and figures. And I think it works really well for an episode.
There's a nice blend of, we've said it before, you are not retro, but you like a lot of the, not old, but older games, and you do love, and I very much do look future forwards, and I go and buy.
I've got a fondness for the old systems. Like I can't wait to do the Commodore Amiga. I really can't.
and I'm like, I can't wait to do the PlayStation 6. Do you know what I mean? It's that. But that again, look, we're bigging each other up, but that is, I think it complements the show well, because we're able to both speak to the things that we love. I'm happy to go out and buy a new piece of tech to kind of go, well, this is this, and this is how I've used it. And you with your Steam Deck, and we will do a handheld one. We'll have to do a comparative now. I've said it. But this has been an absolute fucking joy for me.
But look, and I say, but let's not talk about ourselves anymore. And look, while we're talking about
my favourite subject.
Yeah. Well, while we're talking about guests, so if you're listening to this and you fancy being on, drop us a line, let us know. We have got some idea for guests. You will see the other boys at the GCP on. They don't know that, but you will see them on for various episodes. We've got that
I
planned.
don't know that, so I'm looking forward to that.
Have I done that thing where I talk before I do? Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Apparently so. No, but if you listen to this and you fancy sort of collabing, let us know. I think the final question, Dan, is there something you're looking forward to in 2026 for gaming? Not the podcast specifically, but for gaming.
Apart from Half-Life 3?
There we go. You can roll credit. No, yeah. Apart from Half-Life 3.
I am very much looking forward to the Steam Machine in early 26. I will be picking a Steam Machine up and potentially a frame. And I would really like us to do a bit of a deep dive on a new bit of tech, because we've done a lot of deep dives on old tech. And I think I'd love for us to do that. I think it will be of the moment. And I think people will really want to know what they're getting for their money before they go and spend it, especially with RAM costing as much as it is. I think we know what to expect from the interface, because it'll probably be an iteration of big picture mode. So, that kind of console-y feel. I'm really looking forward to that. Games wise, I don't know. I mean, every time there's whether it's Sony's State of Play or Xbox's Showcase, it's a roll of the dice what you're going to get. And we saw that this year. Some were really good. Sometimes Xbox was up and looked really good. Sometimes PlayStation was up and looked really good. And I think that's the thing that I love about what we do and what we do on this podcast, is there's always something new. There's always something different to talk about or debate or have a conversation around. There's always a different game who knew that watching the thing, one of the most exciting games we saw was Clockwork Revolution. To the point where we're both looking forward to that coming out. No one knows when it's going to come out, right? But if that comes out in 26, I'm all over that. I think I genuinely couldn't say, other than the Steam hardware, I don't know, because there's so much can happen. It's not going to be GTA 6 because that'll get delayed, so we don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, it'll be 2027's most anticipated game. Yeah,
we'll be sitting in next year going, do you remember last year we said we were looking forward to GTA 6 and it didn't come out? I mean, because I don't really care about it, but yeah, there's so many things that it could possibly be. I wouldn't even want to think about it, but yeah, I think I trust Valve when they say they're going to go early 26. That's the one I'm putting my money on going, that's going to happen. That's the one I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. And do you know what? You've picked mine as well. I hopefully we'll have another great year for games. But for me, it's all about that Steam Machine, and can they make it affordable? Can it survive? Not survive, that's wrong. But can it weather this RAM issue?
Rampocalypse.
Rampocalypse. Yeah. But I'm all about that. All right, look, let's wrap up. I do want to say thank you to some people. So, Dan, have a think if I don't mention anyone that you want to shout out. But yeah, as we said, thanks to everyone at the Podpack Collective. I want the Brain Trust, they know who they are. Thank you for the people who have been on. So we said it's the Joey of Game Club Pod, Dave Turner, and Ian Lee. Yep. Thanks to those who have allowed us on their show. So we've both been on Chat Tsunami. We've both been on Middle Age Podcast. And actually, that reminds me, so this goes out the 29th. So last week, check out my appearance on their podcast talking about Home Alone and the 35th anniversary of that, and Game Club Pod for Podmas, allowing us onto Podmas. Some other supporters. So Griffin of Reboot, Deboot, and Major Tunage. He's a Renegade Jester on Twitch. He's a massive supporter of us on his streams. And I always dislike doing this because you're always going to forget someone. Just personal, Pete, shout out to him. Ollie, you're listening. He sent me a message. He's listening. So thank you to you. And yeah, basically, if you're listening to this, just want to wish you all a happy new year and come back Friday for a gaming reviews. Dan,
we should probably thank our long-suffering wives and significant others for the amount of hours they let us loose doing this crazy thing. So, thank you to my wife, who is very supportive, and my kids, who really don't give a toss. Other than my kids going, can I watch your podcast yet, Dad? And I'm like, no, you're not 18 yet. When you're 18, Daddy swears like a sailor.
Yeah, no, 100%. Thank you, Tim. Yeah, and like I said, and if you're listening and watching this, wherever you are, thank you. Have a great new year, and we'll see you next week for another episode of Gaming Views.